Delighted to be with Panthers CEO Omar Pacha, and Omar made an announcement that Corey Nielsen will no longer be the head coach. He's going moving to an opportunity in Germany, and you've revealed that Corey will be succeeded by Jonathan Paredes.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Corey for his time, early on. And I guess when we started the talks with Corey, it was probably more of a short term stint. He had still the ambition to move away to back to Europe, and we started talking about the future and whatnot at that point in time. But I felt we wanted to give it a bit of time, and at one point, you know, I guess Corey decided to take an opportunity, and quite early on towards the latter part of the season. So, which gave me a great opportunity to do a full on coaching review and of what we want to move forward with and what we want to do in general. And I felt like, without a shadow of a doubt, the best option available for what we're planning right now for this season and how we want to move forward would be Jonathan Paredes.
So Jonathan Paredes is coming in. He's been with Sergei in France. He's taken them from quite a low position in the French second tier. They've been challenging for the last two League Magnus titles. Why do you feel he's your man?
Well, there's many things for Jonathan. First of all, in the terms of market, of coaching market, which is a very competitive market in general, he's probably one of the hottest coaches, I would say, that was available to us, and hottest coaches in demand that I felt around in the market. And for me, you know, his obviously his passion, his work ethic, but how he is as a human being is probably the best thing. I think he's a player that guys really want to play for, and they love, and he loves his players. And that was the big thing of how we want to create now moving forward. The environment I want to create, obviously having a year under my belt here after a season that hasn't been acceptable. For me, we need to adapt our environment, our culture, our philosophy about everything. And I think with Jonathan, he will bring that. And to be fair, again, more time, more research. I think knowing the club now inside and out, speaking to 15, 20 players around, some that even played for the Nottingham Panthers, some that played in this league as well. And he was a coach that not only has success, the respect of his players, the way he wants to play fast and wants to score that extra goal, but he's a guy that could adapt quite quickly to the format of this league because of his obviously his work ethic high, but he's able to analyze different aspects of our league. I think it will be a strength of his.
Mm-hmm. Looking at recruitment going into next season, will that be something that you'll rely on the new head coach, or will that be something that you'll be taking control over?
I think, looking back right now, mistakes were made, and I got to take a bit of accountability. My focus was mainly off the ice, and once I recruited players in the past, I was very much focused on details of every single individual. And, we did have differences, the past coach to me. And I feel like with a new coach coming to the league and not knowing the league, I think I'm going to get back to being the lead in terms of recruitment and to help Jonathan adapt to this league. And now that I feel the foundation off the ice is there, even though I feel we did great things off the ice, it really doesn't matter if you're not performing on the ice. That's the reality, and I can't afford to put ourselves in that position again. So I think it's important for me to get back and 24/7 in terms of hockey recruitment for this year. And again, it's not only me, it's going to be Jonathan that we're going to work side by side, but the involvement will be a lot more present. And, something that looking back now, yeah, maybe give too much leeway before, but I guess those were the mistakes that I think I have to learn too.
So you said there that mistakes were made. Can you elaborate on any of those mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, listen, in the last summer, we talked about gold standard, right? And I felt that was the most important thing to have as a club. And for me, the focus again was a lot of the off ice, and I felt we were able to elevate our game, but I don't think we were able to elevate our game on the ice. If not, it got worse. And the reality is we can't afford to have another season like this, and we ultimately it has to be better. And in terms of the future of this club and, bringing in Jonathan in that, is new, I think it's going to be important to also surround him with good people and a staff of people that are there with him constantly. And, looking back now, even hiring Corey and having Rick, I felt there was a bigger coaching staff, a more support. And I think it's important for us to look at that as well, to surround Jonathan with the right people. And over the course of the summer is to really bring that standard that we expect off the ice to on the ice. And I feel like with Jonathan being able, A, to be successful, and also B, he was able to, you look at a guy like Ryan Tate, Stevie Owery, these are two of the top end guys in our league, and Jonathan was working with them last year. So he's able to elevate good players, and he has an eye for looking out for players as well. So it's important to take some of his consideration too. And so far, I mean, we've been in direct contact in the last few weeks and even a month now or so since he signed. It's good that I'm seeing a progress of him understanding too how this league works. So the work is definitely a lot of work in the summer. I think the challenge is there. And I think with our organizational philosophy that we have, and me as well, know more about the direction of where we want to take it, I think the success will arrive.
Obviously, you'll want a huge improvement on this past season, but what sort of recruitment do you want to bring? What sort of team philosophy do you want to bring into the 2023?
I mean, it's simple.
Season?
It's simple, Jono, and maybe I held back too, and this is again on me. My philosophy was to get out, but ultimately I'm always going to be attached to this, and I have to watch it as well. And I hate to say it, I want to watch a team that's really fast, really competitive. A team that embraces playing for the club, that has a high work ethic. And again, I felt the guys tried, but I just felt that we were not up to the speed and standard that the other top teams in the league. There's a reason why we finished 7th, and those are the massive improvements that we want to make. And for me, the skating has definitely been something that was on my mind throughout the year. And with Jonathan, if you look at his teams and how he plays extremely fast, offensive. And I hate to say we're in Nottingham, so we have to adjust to the culture, and the fan base, and they want to be entertained. And what I liked about Corey, he tried to bring a brand that was entertaining, but again, not his team, right? So it's important for us to get a team that has those qualities to make us successful.
So you've made improvements off ice. That's obviously not translated on ice. You said right at the start you wanted a gold standard throughout the whole of the organisation. What do you want to do, or what do you want to put in place to ensure that is the case for next season?
Well, I think the club overall made, like, people, around our club made everything better off the ice, but certainly on the ice it hasn't been good enough. We weren't fast enough, I think, as a club. When you look at the Belfast Giants, or even the success even of the Cardiff Devils, they've been always a team that's fast, a team that's predominantly like relying on speed a lot. And I felt this year we were lacking that, and from the get-go. And that was the biggest issue, I think, if you look back on this year. And for me moving forward, the standard of play has to be at that level. It has to bring the speed, the execution, and it's a long process in the summer, but I think it's getting those right people at the right age and coming at the right moment in their career to come help this club elevate. This club should be at a higher level, and unfortunately, it's been a disaster of a year on the ice, and there's no secret about it. But I feel it's important that we just get the right people to play the right roles. And one of the things I'm disappointed is when I first came here, when I was looking at this job, I felt that we needed to be the fastest team, and it didn't pan out. And that's why I feel it's important that I get involved, and with Jonathan, that has the same vision, the same mindset, and myself, knowing this club, what do we need, having the people around. The foundation is now off the ice. Let's build that foundation on the ice. And it's unfortunate because it just hasn't been the standard this year, and nobody is more frustrated than myself and everybody at the club. So it's a big summer, but with Jonathan himself and myself, I'm extremely confident now with the mindset we have as a as a hockey group to start, because it's going to keep building. Because as I said, Jonathan will have a supporting cast that will be there to help from day one. And last year the biggest mistake was having our coach alone, and that's on myself to not surround him as well.
Finally, let's look ahead. We're sat here in 12 months' time. What do you want to have seen happened ideally in those 12 months?
Well, look, ideally, we're at a point now that like I said, the foundation off the ice is created, and I have a great staff that I can put more trust into, and I think it's up to the hockey side to kind of elevate the game. And it's important that it's getting the right people in those positions to succeed. And I'm very much confident that with Jonathan, he's going to be able to lead that hockey group to bigger and better things. And expectations, every team's going to aspire to be better, but for me it starts with every single day in the summer and making sure that we improve our hockey program every single day. And it's our responsibility to get the right people in, and to obviously get them in a position to succeed as well, because there are some players that were probably to an extent not put in a position to succeed as well, and that's on us at the top to make sure that we bring everybody in to give us value and to give themselves value too. And as a club, as much as it's been frustrating, I'm about 10 times more excited for next year than even when I first came. It was a fast process. Now I think it was extremely important for me to look at what were we doing in our day-to-day as a hockey team, and I just certainly think it wasn't good enough. And that starts with the culture and the environment we create for the guys. So a lot of work to be done, but it's a lot of exciting times. I think there's going to be signing news sooner rather than later on new guys, and we're going to analyze all the guys that we had this year too with Jonathan, and go baby steps and make sure that we get the right ingredients, the right people at a club for next season.
Omar, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.